Welcome to Third Party with Jaiga, Nikki and Ro'dey. Welcome.
So good we have to do it twice. All right, guys, good evening. We want to welcome everyone. And this evening, we just wanted to let people, we really dealing with a relationship.
Nikki's
I
behind
think
you,
everybody
have all
could
that
relate
noise.
to this. Behind me,
Yeah, I hear it's had to be you. You're the only person like that on.
Jerry now jamming some silly music in the back.
Yeah, what you
Is
doing?
that better?
He knows
Jerry, what you
Wednesday.
doing?
Wednesday, you gotta give
It's
it that
Wednesday,
lie.
Jerry.
Come on, Jerry, you know
You
better
know you
than
have to
that.
tune it down on a Wednesday, Jerry. All right, so we talking about physical changes in relationships today, right? People change physically for different reasons. Like me, I fall in love with a Rasta man. Now he got the hair, change. People change. Everything changes. Wifey had 2 babies, put on the little baby weight, never lose it. Never had the time to go and do what she needs to do, or just, that's life. Men, he was real sexy, used to go in the gym every week. Now we have the biggest belly on the block, kind of real unattractive. Balding, for both men and women, it's a problem women and men have. It's not just a male thing. Women have a thinning of hair, and something is a real problem. We're just talking physical changes here, where you could be, well, this is not what I fell in love with, and there are changes. So because, you always kind of think, yes, you fall in love with the person, you love them, this is the father of your children, the mother of your children. But it could affect relationships, and it does affect relationships. So this is something we want to talk about this evening. We open, and of course, we appreciate everyone's input.
Yes, as per normal, we appreciate it. And remember, for the shy ones, you can feel free to join in on the discussion by sending a voice note to 1-868-789-8888. Very easy to remember. Let me say it again. 1-868-789-8888. So we're talking physical changes, and a lot of people, there's a misconception. I know when we open the forum, a lot of women will come and say that the pressure is always on you all to look a particular way because society has it that you have to look a particular way all the time. But I think that men struggle as well. They just hide it. But men struggle because you all women say it too. Sometimes it's a contradiction. You all say, well, man is be with anything. That's something that women say all the time. We grew up hearing it. Well, them man and them, they don't care. They be with anything. But really and truly, women kind of have what they like and stick to what they like. And if you don't fit that mold, normally you don't even have a chance. But everybody have their own preference. But I think that men struggle, especially when you start to get older, in terms of this, what Nikki said earlier. It could be weight, it could be hair. Some men can't get over that hair receding thing. They can't accept being bald. Cohen Dubois, for one, just can't accept it. By now, he should have a bald head.
I just say here, grade too. Some men are getting older and they hair blacker than when they were 16. It's all these little things. We always think it's women, but I'm glad you broad reference that men go through stuff too.
Yeah, men go through it as well. A lot of men struggle with the fact that they're not looking how they used to look, they're not functioning how they used to function. That little pep in the step is gone.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, hold on. That little pep in the step is gone. So that's how they so they struggle with that. A lot of men struggle with that. So tonight, that's the topic. We're talking about changes from all aspects. I see somebody here is very anxious to talk. Maria, good night. You can jump in.
I want to make a bacchanal, please.
Yeah.
Lily, for the recap purposes, Lily, catch this, eh? You see this crowd is one.
Well, like your lights gone, boy, bunny. We didn't hear you. All I hear is you see this crowd.
I make a acknowledgement. Yeah, this crowd is a top crowd. Made a whole ad for the third party, and I won't even get an acknowledgement. Bunny, good ad for the third party tonight.
Okay. I ain't see the ad, boy. Sorry. I will look. All right, Maria, come in.
Okay, so this is what I was going to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
With respect to the topic, if you fell in love with a man's look, it's going to affect you. So if you fell in love with the six pack and the nice fluffy hair and all of that, you in yourself have to realize that look fade. Nobody is in plastic wrapping. This is not candy Barbie doll. Something is going to happen. He's going to get wider. You're cooking all the good food for him. Obviously, he's going to put on a little weight. He's getting older. He's going to get gray. He might lose his hair, and that is why it is important for people to fall in love with the person and not the wrapping the person comes in, because a lot of people fall in love with the image that they get, and then later on, when that image starts to fade and that beauty and that plastic wrapping that you thought would last forever starts to fade, it's an issue. But you never like the man personality to begin with. If you like the man and not just like the man look, it ain't going to bother you. So that's basically what I have to say.
All right, cool. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Maria. Thank you. Appreciate it. And it's so true, I like the reference of the wrapping versus, the actual product.
Yeah, for real, because at the end of the day, as we were saying earlier, but you have to embrace. It's difficult for a lot of men. In getting older, there's certain aspects of your life that you just have to start to embrace. You have to embrace the fact that you're getting older and bask in that whole thing. And I guess all of that too comes with maturity, because it has some men, I'm telling you, you damn well know you're not supposed to be which party this go. Just before pandemic and thing, I remember you going in the club and you seen some men in the club on a Wednesday and they watching Solia. What you doing here, boy? You have 3 grandchildren. Why you in the club? Everybody in this club smaller than your grandchildren. What you doing? You understand? Things like that. I feel it's just about being aware of yourself too, and you and your partner will then grow together, and in growing together you will appreciate each other and how you're growing. Like how Nikki say, she had a Rasta and don't have a Rasta no more, but the length of time she enjoyed that Rasta and see that Rasta man evolve into a different self. Same person, a kind of improved package, because now he grew into the fact that he used to be a hot Rasta man thing. Now he cut it a little bit, but he didn't fall off. It's not like he went and take a drastic ball head and put 2 side parts and some thing in the back. It's not that. It's a gradual little change. So again, we're inviting you to come in. Remember, if you're shy, you can always send a voice note. We take those as well, because I know some of you always be shy and doesn't really want to talk. So we do that. So we welcome any newcomer first to the forum. If you have anything to say, to add, just show your hands and we'll bring you in. Ro'dey, how you feel about the change? Have you felt any changes since you've been a married guy? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I know for men are mostly visual creatures nowadays. So I think when you really fall in love with that person, you will always remember that. You will always remember that person for when you now meet them and how they used to look, and you would basically over a period of time grow to accept that this is who I am with, and I love you beyond the physical realm. What I have an issue with though is watching your partner eat themselves to death. So not so much that they put on weight, but you know that all right, your partner might have certain issues in terms of being unhealthy and eating unhealthy and whatever, and you just allow them to do it now.
True. I mean,
so I prefer to step in and say, you know diabetes running in your family or high blood pressure, whatever the case is. It's not so much that I know here. I don't really want to get big and sour, but at the same time, I'm already looking out for your health as well. And you could put on the chicken a little bit.
Yeah, but what's the right way to tell somebody again big and sour though?
I do think it's on the right way again, big and sour.
Nah, man, it must have a right way, Ro'dey. You can't tell us.
Why would they always want to sugarcoat everything?
It's not sugarcoating.
Me and you good. You know I love you. You know I right. You get it big and sour.
Nah, man,
Do
I don't feel
something about it.
like the right approach, man. Yeah, I do feel like I can't like uncomfortable knowing I think and then somebody turn and tell me, oh, you getting big and
No,
so
but-
boy, that gonna affect me.
Babe,
Right?
But
love
it
you.
could. No, I understand what
big
Maria
answer,
said there. Yeah, you fall in love with somebody, but people fall out of love. And I think things like this, if you see a man just get, and a young fella too, that would be a turn off for me. If he just start to put on weight and you're seeing him just eating, drinking, not doing any form of exercise, it could start to turn off. I'm talking to you about this, and all you doing is drinking and eating and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think it could happen. Serious, I don't know why.
Yeah, and because it's sensitiveness. I ain't.
Oh, you know what? Outside and not in walls.
Yeah, everybody that voice, them
That
voices
could be it.
traveling. Them voices traveling. Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Neighbor, what's good?
Oi.
Let me hear
I
you.
have, Jaiga, I can answer that question for you. So with my ex, he started putting on weight from when we, got together. And I saw the pounds piling on. And then one day, I said, when you going to make that child?
Oh, wow.
You real
So
different.
he was not a beer drinker or anything like that, right? It was from my food. It was from my food, plus from his unhealthy eating
You
habits
sure it was
outside.
your food and you wasn't running and hiding anything from your mother?
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
You real boastful to say it was from my food. Okay, we had to take that. We had to take that in here.
Of eating late in the night and eating food for breakfast and them kind of thing, He would come home 12 o'clock in the night and put on a whole solid meal.
Wow. I wanna can't do but
Yeah.
I 8 o'clock in the morning rice thing. I don't know how people just do it. Can't do it. Can't do
Yeah,
it.
but they always say when you start to fall in love too, that you start to put on weight, right? That's part of the process. I think, when you hear people say, oh, God, boy, you're putting on weight, you're in love, boy, because, you're eating regular food, that kind of thing. We expect that, and I think all relationships, they kind of expect that. Love.
So if I'm in a fresh relationship, Nikki, and he thin like whip, you're not pressure then. He thinking okay enough.
There's something wrong there.
If what you saying is right. So if I'm in a fresh
You
relationship
put on a little 5 pounds.
and he thin and hard of them, I mean he thinking good at all.
Nah, it's thinking good. You're supposed to put on a little, something when you don't fall in love and thinking it'll be plenty.
That means
A little plumpness.
me going by Avril Plenty. Remember, she never have food by me. She don't provide food.
Daddy. Come now, man, not tonight, night. Too early. It's too early. Texas, you come in early tonight.
A person can put on weight also because they have emotional issues they're dealing with.
True.
So you got to also determine two things: whether they have a thyroid problem, because it could show up late in life, or they have an emotional issue that causes them to use food as comfort.
Right.
So you got to look at it from that standpoint. The question is, what are you going to do to work with that person to reverse that situation? Now, if you don't have a problem with the person putting on weight because after years of growing emotionally attached to that person and the person is healthy, there shouldn't be any issue. But vanity is something we all have, and I consider myself to be a rational person. However, I would be a hypocrite also because I want that if I see something looking good when I got it, it should be maintained for a period of time. So that's a tough balance.
I hear that. That's being honest. But at the end of the day, there's no measuring stick as to you said for a period of time. There's no measuring stick for that period of time. How long is that period in your mind? You think it should be 5 years, 3.5 years, 10 years? How long should that stick last? We don't know.
True. And that's even a tough question for myself.
Yeah, you understand? Because you can't say, well, I understand what they're saying from a male perspective. Most men, I will say, in the high percentile, will think the same way. Because at the end of the day, the attraction is that. You know how men operate. We operate in a space, as Ro'dey say, from a place of you see it, and it's that kind of, you brainwash yourself into believing, God, she looks amazing. That is what you like, because every man has their thing that they like, so you cling to that. So when you met her in that particular light, that is what you want to remain with, And as years progress or time progress, that might change. So now the question is, we and that's why I said in the beginning, women have way more pressures, because it's kind of like they don't have like a period. It's like they have to maintain it permanently. So they operate in a space where they start to operate, they get insecure about certain things. And I'm saying too, there's men who are very insecure about themselves as well, where they could slip into depression. And some men get big and slip into the depression, and while being depressed, as tongue in cheek they said, that emotion started playing them, and all that is why they started overeat too, and don't get the help that they need to fix it. I end up in a situation where they get leave, and then they're feeling less than, and you're only reminiscing on when you used to look good and how you used to look and all of that. Paula, good night.
Good night, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Jaiga, this is a poor person conversation. As Jay-Z said, you never meet an ugly billionaire. Or some lines too.
Yeah.
If that man was fat and bubble, any girl he have, if he sees like candy, ain't gonna be complaining that the man's big. If she does, it's her inner voice. And say Ro'dey, for example, say Ro'dey get together with Lizzo. Ro'dey, you gonna tell Lizzo anything about her size? Really?
Yeah, but that's superficial though, if we being honest. If you get into a relationship with somebody based on that, if that is the reason for getting the relationship, well, the questions are answered, but that's not what we're talking about. Because you're correct, Paul. If you're from the outside, if you get with Lizzo, right? Anybody, maybe there's a guy out there who might be fascinated with her as a person and love her for that, and how she looks wouldn't really affect him at all. But in the context in how you're speaking is, there's no ugly billionaire. That context and that no ugly billionaire, the definition for that is just that, is that you're going in for the billionaire, is the billionaire like. So when the person, if they lost all the money, it's done, because there's nothing to hold on
even
to.
if they were skinny before and they get fat,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to complain and say, well?
But this is under
and
the
as they get fat, they get rich.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, as Nikki
you might
said,
say one or two, but if the person rolling,
yeah,
and when you think trajectory, he might.
If everything rolling, I rolling, money rolling, we rolling, everybody, fat rolling, everybody rolling.
That is why the world in the state it's in now. That's why the world in the state it's in now. Because as Nikki was saying earlier, everything changes, things changes. Yeah, your medium man, he was thin. As he
money would definitely have a play. I make your ass skinny and dry, right? You didn't have no money, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman at a time had to make some options. You start to make money, but you have to get a little chubby. But I ain't really seen it because, we rolling. You know what I mean? So at some point, yes, money is playing it, because we see real good-looking women out here with big, fat men, and that man rolling. He fat rolling and he wallet rolling.
Nah, man, I know women who with bigger guys, and it's not about money. It's because the guy has a nice heart, a big heart and nice personality.
I'm not discounting that, Jay. I'm sure there are people who love, right? I'm just saying that when this conversation is a I'm going to say poor, put it in inverted commas, meaning that if you factor money into that equation, this is not a conversation anymore to have, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it has very much to do with the income status on both sides, whether or not you would push for that person to change back to how they were before, that type of thing.
Right.
So that's just my 2 cents.
Rihanna said how big. Rihanna is my fat girl, my roly-poly forever. As I say,
exactly.
The only issue I will have, I am not going to sit back and watch my partner eat themselves to death. If it's an unhealthy fat that they're putting on, I will definitely want to play a part in helping them, get better at that now. Because there's healthy fat, and then there's this unhealthy fat.
Correct.
So I would not want to just sit back, enjoy whatever we have built together, but I watching you eat yourself to death. I can't be a part of that. So that's the only part I will have an issue with. But Rihanna, I'm a roly-poly. Yeah.
No, we're talking about weight, which is something you can work on. But what about natural aging process?
Mm-hmm. We say change, and the conversation that is changes in relationships, not just weight. Everybody ran for weight because that's the most obvious, but there are other aspects of a relationship or individuals that can change in a relationship. And you're correct too, tongue in cheek. Aging is a thing too. There's some people who age badly. And
so I want to hear the opinions on that, because understood weight issues, etc. However, let's not focus on the weight. Let's focus on natural aging changes, how you're going to deal with it emotionally and mentally. Because weight, you can work on that. You can lose weight. Anybody can lose weight, guaranteed. But when you have wrinkles, it's one option you have. Or two, Botox plastic surgery. Now, how you going to, if that's what you want, your significant other to get to look the way you want, how are you going to approach that?
And go back to money again, because people who have the money solve their problem.
Right. Yeah, so now you don't have the money. What you gonna do?
Not even hold on. Before even not having the money, Nikki. What about you have the money and you can afford it, but your partner does not subscribe to that? They don't want to put no Botox into them. They don't want no plastic surgery. You could more than afford it for them, but they decide that that's not for me. I want my natural self.
That's a whole different show.
Oh, that's a different show. It's the same thing. It changes.
Yeah, but that's a whole different show you're going into, cosmetic surgery for partners, that could be a whole show in itself, because that is a problem.
I know a couple like that right here in Maryland, Jaiga. They've been together for like 20 years. She has 4 kids, and she felt like she needed plastic surgery to, get the boobs back up, or the boobs, the tummy tuck. And the husband didn't subscribe to that. He's like, I love you just the way you are. I put those shirt in you and make all this happen, and I didn't love you for your body, I love you for you. She still went, did it, and now they just living in the house for the children.
Wow. Well, again, that too is that one is a self-esteem
issue. But relationship also means like one partner could outgrow another partner too.
Yeah, but
that's also a change in a relationship.
That particular one you spoke about is an insecurity issue as well, because I understand the man trying to support her in the sense of, I love you just the way you are, honey, and she is insecure with himself and wants changes because I guess she's trying to hold on to that youth, the fact that she's made 4 kids and her body is changed
and whatever she's seen on IG.
Yeah, that's a whole different realm. That's a whole different realm.
But just to put a twist on that situation, Jaiga, what if the guy is insecure?
Yeah, so that happens with me, with my ex, because I'm trying to now encourage him to let's go to the gym together, let's eat healthy together to get back down the weight. And then now he stopped going to the gym, and then I go into the gym, and man looking at me, and I go in for man.
That's a and I don't think plastic surgery is because someone insecure. I think it could be you just want to feel comfortable in, like, if you're doing tummy tuck, if you're doing the breast lift, you want to just feel comfortable in your body again, particularly if you've had kids.
It's easy to feel comfortable. Just accept yourself for who you are. So
no, you can't say that tongue in cheek. Until you've had kids, until you've had kids, you can't say that. Having had kids and your before and after, sometimes it's just about you want to feel like it, and where your body keeps score. It's not that you on the inside feel less than or anything like that, but your body keeps score, and you know that this is not what you spent, particularly if you've had kids late in life. Most times you've been accustomed to this one body for the majority of your life, and then your kids ravage it, and bouncing back is not as easy. So you just need a little help. And I think changing that perspective is not about I feel less than, or it is for me. I'm not doing it for anybody. It is for me. And I think sometimes getting a partner to understand that, yes, you love me, however, and I appreciate that, and I'm grateful for that, and at least I have that option to know that you'll still love me regardless, but I need to do this for me.
Yeah, and I think
the scary part is when it becomes an obsession.
Yeah,
sometimes you do it once or twice, and then you just want to change everything.
No, but Paula, I agree with you to an extent, but I do feel like if you're not strong within yourself a little bit in some sort of way, that it's easy to just to come to that level of I need to fix this or I need to fix that. Because I remember I had my daughter and we were at her christening. She was 3 months. And I have families telling me, okay, well, you know, you need to put on a waist trainer now to pull that waist in and pull that stomach down. And I didn't really have a stomach. But if I didn't feel secure within myself, I felt like the amount of pressure that they were putting on me, because it was like every other person had a comment to say something. So I felt like I would have been...
I agree with you, because that you see that it's somebody telling you what to do. So
yeah.
Whereas for women who say no, I want to do this for me regardless, you know, it's not any outside influence. I think it's different, you know. So in terms of if you're doing it for other people, I think it could come from a place where eventually it might become addictive, because you can never satisfy the external, but internally, if this is something you want to do for you, then I think it's fine, right? Even if it end up like who's out here from Independence Day, who face kind of all mash up now. The actor Will Smith, I forget her name, but even if it end up like that, and you still feel really hot distance.
Wow,
voila!
Wow.
What is there anything that you will accept yourself as the status quo if there's a change? Is there anything?
Give me an example. I don't understand your question.
Right. Okay. You have been living with your 2 arms, right?
Yes.
Okay. You've been living with your 2 arms all these years, and for whatever, God forbid, that you lose that arm, you can't grow it back. What you gonna do?
Yeah, prosthetic.
That's not your arm.
Yeah, but they are prosthetic.
But it's not your arm.
Yeah,
the point I'm making is that you saying you doing certain things for you, especially you're gonna take these cosmetic surgery or whatever because you wanna go back to how you were. Going back to how you were with no arm is not a prosthetic device. It's not a real arm. So you have to accept the fact that you don't have your real arm anymore. You have to feel good in your space with that going forward.
Nah, but tongue in cheek.
I was like, it's feeling comfortable in your body. I don't. Cosmetic surgery will never get you back to how you were, but it might get you back to. And by the way, full disclosure, I've never done cosmetic surgery, but I know people who have. And for them, it's about feeling comfortable in your body once again. Just the fact that, you know, the baby stretches out your tummy and you have to wear all these girdles to keep it in so you can look good in the clothes that you like to wear. And that not having the stress of that because you did a tummy tuck, you know, makes a world of difference. So it's not that your tummy will look like it was when you were 21, but it could very well make you feel comfortable in going out, and we're not having the stress of buying this slimming device and that slimming stuff and that sort of thing. And so for me, the prosthetic arm, you ask me what I would do. One, I have to come to terms with the fact that I lost a limb. There is no doubt about that. But there would be options that it won't be the same, definitely not, but it will definitely make my life more comfortable going forward.
So it's a psychological thing.
Yes, I was just waiting for me to come in to say that at the end of the day, tongue in cheek, it's all psychological at some point. I agree with everything that Paula said, and I understand what your point as well, tongue in cheek, whereas you cannot replace the arm, but you can emotionally and mentally feel a little better knowing that you still have use of something. And with respect to the plastic surgery with women and kids, you would not look like the 20-year-old version of you. But mentally and emotionally, you will feel some sort of comfort knowing that, hey, at least I could still fit in these jeans, or one that I like to wear.
All right, so I buy that point of view to say this. Sometimes women take plastic surgery and they look horrible.
Oh yeah, we just talked about
that. Mentally, they feel great.
Yeah,
I remember about 27 years ago, there was this woman called Joyce Silverstein, a rich white woman, and she did so much plastic surgery. I cannot see how this woman look in the mirror and don't see she looks not like a human. She looks like a cat. But to her, she is looking great. So she has to be getting some mental comfort to know that she's not looking old because she was in her late 70s. She's not looking old, but she's looking horrible. So it has to be a psychological thing.
Yeah, but that's when you go to the extreme, because there are people who suffer from that addiction. That's when she now take plastic surgery to an addiction. It's no longer about how she looks. It's just about going under the knife. In a case like hers, that's what it is. It's not what Paula is speaking of. Is basic plastic surgery to help a woman feel a little better about the fact that, especially as she said, that if you had kids at an older age, you have to remember, if we're being fair to self, women really endure it. There's some women who lucky, you know, they have some women, you hear the old people saying, God girl, you born to make children, boy. That's some women will make a child today. I kid you not.
Boy,
and you see them next month.
To have 4 and she's stomach sucking like she never had a bump.
It have some people like that. And
well, you from Tunapuna, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Hello, yeah.
But there is a woman, I don't know if she's alive now, in Tunapuna. Mm-hmm. She used to pump them out. She had over 10 kids, and you couldn't tell she had one.
Yeah, watch me. Black women were gifted with that. Black women were gifted with that for sure.
Well, you could get prosthetic arm, you could get prosthetic leg, you could put on a prosthetic ears. Once you don't interfere with that Pikachu, are you good?
Well, they have that too, Ro'dey, so
yeah, there's plastic surgery for that too.
Don't interfere with that.
It's a
but you know there's plastic surgery for that, right, Ro'dey?
Ro'dey, you're limiting yourself, brother. You're like everybody. You're limiting yourself, Ro'dey.
Plastic surgery for that, right,
Ro'dey? Nah, brother.
You're limiting yourself, Ro'dey.
Wait, but how you only updating this thing like Facebook too, man?
It's a knife for that, brother. It's a knife for that.
There's plastic surgery for that, brother. You can tighten it back up, you can fix up the clothes.
The thing done sweet already, man. Leave it alone, man. Leave it.
Okay, so let me add a twist to this now. Like, changes in relationship. The man can't perform like he used to. You barely make a round.
No comment.
You know that was coming. You're being unfair now, man.
No.
It have to be neighbor.
Kevin, I agree.
You're being unfair. You know that was coming. So you really believe.
And she belly and this plastic surgery. So why can't talk about all your piggy leaks?
No,
so two humans in a relationship, and you really believe you going through all these changes, and homeboy ain't nothing coming to you. God don't work so, man. Right now DNA does work, right now how your body does work, right now how it doesn't work so.
But hold on.
If you put yourself, everything about a time span, you know. If you put yourself with somebody who could jump till 90, and they live to see 90, at 91, they're going on high excuse, because 90 is homeboy limit. He just don't know it. He thought he's a champion all his life.
Right, but then...
And when he started to see problems now, he started to get frustrated, he don't know how to function. You on the side watching him side out, and then his problem.
But I strongly believe, boy, this is my belief, my personal belief, I could be wrong, that when you have found a life partner, a real life partner, not somebody who you're jamming for a period of time, but when you have found a real life partner, and you're on that journey, and two of you are enjoying life together, if that happens to intervene, whereas either of the persons, be it the man or the woman, cannot perform a sexual act the way they used to maybe 15-20 years prior, I think that's an uncomfortable conversation that the both of them could have and resolve together and find a way forward where they could both remain happy till the end of the days. That's just how I feel. I don't think it's... What's that?
Can we all agree communication should be number one in any situation, whether it be like partner, just a regular, whatever, however you want to categorize your situation. Communication should be
We sing that communication song here all the time. That's what it is. It always boils down to communication. But again, it happens when... Because that's something that we all struggle with and everybody's talk about as you go to. Oh, they can't do this again, they can't do that again. But let's try and remember, the human body functions in a way where there are thousands and thousands and millions of people before us who would have went through that and lived together happily and in love till the end of their days. People have done it, so it's not to say something that can't happen.
We all know it has some man who feel only the who just drink a little root and them could go for years and years and years. We all know it have man who feel that.
True. But
and then there's communication where people who don't like to have those hard conversations.
And I also think, neighbor, that
it's a tongue-in-cheek statement, right?
and I think too that when you get to that point, all the men who drinking the roots and the this and the that and they do anything. I believe that a man, if you take care of yourself and woman, you can enjoy that part of your life longer than average. It can go to in your 70s, but at some point, I think together, two of you will just kind of feed together. That's just how I feel. Maybe it's a fantasy, but I think you could feed together.
What we missed it? You see what you're saying, neighbor, and we missed the communication starts. You know? He just didn't have the communication with you. That's why he started drink all these roots and things, because you already had the communication with yourself. Because yourself already tell him, listen, Solia, you're dipping a little bit, you're going downhill here now. You start to go downhill, you need help. And he chooses to go to the root. So he started to seek help, he just didn't have the communication with you is part. But you know it, and you ain't saying it.
Jaiga, and you know my uncle, right? You know the conversation we had on the side. Look what happened to my uncle. He went and drank roots. Now look at him now. No pastor he could stand up.
Wow.
No, that was
just for your uncle business over there, right?
He didn't call it. He didn't call his name.
Yeah, tongue in cheek.
Those roots that she's talking about is for the physical. But what about the libido? That is the next thing.
No, it's roots. For the libido. I mean, you not always want it. As a human being, you always want it, but as if it could get up, if it could get up in.
Right, so that's for the physical part of it. Most times, these tonics or whatever is for the physical enhancement, not the libido.
Correct.
And there's a big difference.
It's to have no man. And we say, when I say man, I mean male. Half of us are not 30 or not 35 and even know that libido statement anything. So, yet again, they don't know. So the thing that is the go-to thing. Nobody is trying to educate them and tell them, listen, if this gonna happen, you need to go in this direction other than this direction. So they don't even know about libido. A partner tell a partner, here what happened, but I can take that over the volcano erupting at a high scale. And he run that direction. Because he taking street side knowledge, street side lawyers, street side doctors, everybody from the street. Just like the same thing with plastic surgery, a friend tell a friend, nobody into the research, nobody try to find out your what happened. If you do this, these things not matching up, it will not work properly with your DNA. And therefore you will start to look like a bent up fence going down the road. They're not going down that level of seeking information or trying to even get knowledge.
Kevin and some of the fellas who out there, when any of your experience when your significant others was pregnant, and either during the pregnancy or after the pregnancy, she may not have wanted to engage in physical activity. How you all dealt with that? Because that's a change that could last for some months or years depending on the person's hormones. How you all dealt with that change?
If I'm being honest, with my particular situation, with my first daughter's mother, it was just we had intercourse just for the child and never slept with each other ever again, right? On my second daughter,
what?
Yeah, facts. I don't ever lie about them things.
Yeah, that situation a little different.
Yeah, never ever. It was just that. That's it. Put done. Never ever went back. Ever. My grandmother always teach me.
Never close your mouth. Never close your mouth. I can see your mouth open from here.
Right? Don't ever go back.
I'm trying.
Right? And with respect to that, that I think for men, if you truly devoted, committed, and in love with the person that you're with, you will try and find a way to wait and to coax it back in. And if you're clever, you just try. It's like a challenge because it's a trying time because they're struggling from postpartum depression. They're struggling from all the different things. The body changes. The child crying in the night. They're feeling unsexy. I think it's the job of the man in that situation to try and counsel and coax and nurture. That's when a man needs to nurture his significant other back to a place of comfort. You mightn't be able to jam immediately, but get back to the point of where you could caress and hold and just continue to show them that you are still beautiful and give them that sense of want. You ought to be like a sexy tussiness you ought to have, for want of a better word. Not like a raper man, but you ought to have a sexy tussiness where you have to always remind them that, girl, I want it to girl, God. You understand? For them to
I'm going to take most of that term as sexy tussiness.
Yeah, no, don't hold on to that because that is that borderline raper man. So you gotta be careful.
I'm going to take that on like Ro'dey and say, "Gone from here, boy." I already saying that again. I mean, this is the reality, right? And we always talk about communication, but what is that communication that will be effective? Is it always this? It's gonna be
kindness and difficult conversation all the time because as the man you have to continuously try and remind this person as to why you all are here, and you have to engage the child as well. You have to let the person know that you are way more in love with them now because of this beautiful job they done of bringing this child.
Let's have a word for that, Jaiga. Let's have a word for that. I don't know if you ever hear it, mama guy.
Nah, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it's mama guy all the time, but you have to use a little bit of that as well. I call it now the new age word. The new age word is finesse. You have to finesse them back into feeling better about themselves and to getting you. Well, because remember, at the end of the day, the man will be there. He'll be wanting, longing for you, and I think in time. And if it goes on too long, my advice for anybody who's in this space, if you're going through that, my advice is you'll have to seek professional help because at that point, you both will have to go see somebody. You can't try and fix it on your own because it will just get worse and worse and resentment will kick in and then you will reach into cuss and carry, don't fucking touch me, your mother can't, and them kind of thing. When you reach to that, you go have a canal. And so my advice is if it goes too long...
All they want to do is jam, God.
Yeah. And then
I get that already.
Then the insecurities might kick in because in the man's defense, in him feeling that way, he might then start to pull away, not necessarily draw towards somebody else, but pull away and start to not be as present as he was. And then she will start to think he's not present because you're going by somebody else a jam, and then that kind of doubt will come into the space and that negative energy will come into the space and just create more and more issues. So before it gets to that, my advice would be for the both parties to really go and try and seek some kind of help to make sure that they don't go down that road. But immediately, I think the best way to deal with it is by finessing the person to try and get them back there. And men go through that too, Paula.
I think too is definitely a big sense of maturity on the man's side as well.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's obviously that you're definitely more focused on making sure that this new life that they're bringing to the earth is everything is well with the mother. So that the energy as a man definitely has to shift and put focus more on that now. It was a challenge for me. It was a challenge for me because it's all nice I would ask if baby sleeping because I want to jam. Right. You understand? But at times you just have to hold your corner.
Or something with this power button.
No,
understand the big habit there.
The same maturity level, what Ro'dey talk about, a person have to apply it long before the child even come into this world. And I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm divorced is because the 9 years I was married, it wasn't easy. And literally 9 years. However, the 9 months while my ex-wife was pregnant, she said that was the best time she ever had. You know why? Because I realized she is going through a state that she needs to be in a comfort zone. And I was very, very patient while she was going through that period of time. Because I was also aware at the time women were suffering a lot from postpartum depression. And I didn't want her to have to experience that because that is a terrible relationship to be in with a woman who is suffering from postpartum. So the level of maturity that a person has to apply in a situation like that, it has to be unselfish so that you will make sure that whenever that child comes, as Ro'dey said, the environment is right.
Correct. Hold on. Let me play some voice notes here, guys. Again, some voice notes here. Hold on. Hold 1 second.
This message is for me, man. She said, what gonna happen when the man piggy ain't working? My tongue, my chin, my nose, and my hand and them things still working. So
walking out. Hold on, I'm next one.
Cookie monster.
Jaiga, what's that term you call it? What tostiness? What kind of tostiness?
Ma'am, I'm playing a next voice note. We'll get back to that. Hold on.
In any relationship, change is inevitable. And it's how much a person is willing to make an effort knowing those changes are going to come on both parties. One is going to make an effort to accept those changes, and on the other side is one going to make the effort to at least try. They may not be able to meet the standards, maybe 10 years ago, 100%, but at least they're trying to make an effort to not reach to a point where at least to maintain a measure of attractiveness to please the mate. Again, it's all about being on the wee road.
All right. Yeah, back to you, Nibs. What are you asking?
I want to know what's the term because I want to know if you're copyrighted, if I could use it now.
Now you could go ahead and you can big up on yourself.
Some kind of tostiness, you call it?
Sexy
tostiness. No. Okay, good.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I think what people in general, as a couple, what we need to understand is growing together in a relationship encompasses all of that. It means you're growing all together and you're supposed to cherish and enjoy seeing that change in the person because it's happening along with you. So having the maturity and emotional intelligence to enjoy spending that time and actually experiencing the full growth of that person as you go up in age is something that should be cherished because sometimes you have relationships where people are able to live out the majority of their lives together and they have each other until, let's say, till death do us part. But it's not a long period of time that let's say a spouse dies. Most of the time, it's a spouse will die now and a year, 2 years after. It may happen because of the closeness, the person dies as well. Or there are times when the person outlives the person for however long. But it's in the growth from being a young adult to a mature age person, you are able to share each experience and value for what it is. That's my.
All right.
I also believe that some changes you need to grow apart from. Like you see, like if you meet somebody addicted, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol. Yes, once your safety and the safety of people who your loved ones around you is in jeopardy, that is. At some point, you have to cut it and say, this change is not a change that I can support, enable, whatever the case may be. So it also depends on the type of change and what is the impact to everyone around you as well. If you want the person to get off the addiction or whatever, but
it's 9
it
o'clock.
is not happening.
Jaiga, you had that and all in here too,
Yeah.
It's 9 o'clock.
This boy, you got them robots.
All right, boy, Jaiga.
See, that is us black people need to understand that there are certain rules we must abide to in order for the thing to run smooth. You understand? I never tell her anything. It's a reminder that we get to that point. Ace, what are you saying?
So
good evening, sisters. Good evening,
Siri know I was salting for 9 months now. What is that way?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm a fairly, newish dad, so almost 2-year-old, and went through most, what we were just talking about,
That was personal for me as a man who didn't really have a lot of male role models in my life growing up. So I encourage and charge every male in this space tonight to be a role model and reach out to somebody, whether it's your son, your nephew, somebody in the community. We need them. We need men to be men and teach young boys how to be men.
I hear that, my guy.
When we talking about communication and things like that, that's certain things that you had to school the youth to teach them how to do it. So you can't then school them and tell them they don't know about it. Nobody ever showed them, right? So that's all. That's my contribution.
All right, my guy.
Even
even if your father was a beautiful woman.
Wow.
I'll teach them.
Wow, guy. That one is a little far left by road. Yes, Mr. Kevin, sir.
At a young age, I would say 23, if I remember it. I had the opportunity to go and support my cousin for his first child. First child. He was 26 at the time. And he going. So I went to drop him off by the hospital. Drop off thing, because he get the phone call. I going straight to the hospital, fast forward and say, this man, after maybe 10 hours in labor, I sit down outside there, buy food to eat, I still got sleep and wake up. Well, roughly 10 hours, he tell me, he say, boy, 10 hours. This man, I see him walking, coming out of the hospital in slow motion. He went in excited and come back out in slow motion like they beat him in the. He sit down in the car, he closed the door, everything he doing in slow motion. He reclined his seat in slow motion. Yeah. I think I just give up 2 years of my life there. And then he proceed to go on. It's later when he let me know, listen, it's months after, no jamming, no this, he couldn't even watch his girlfriend at the time. It's until they're married, 2 years later, then he gets fucked.
Oh, he was in the living room. So was in the living room, so it pleaded him mentally then?
The experience in the delivery room,
yeah,
it was a different experience.
That happens.
Yeah.
So imagine for his girlfriend. He said the only thing, because later on he explained to me, he said the only thing them didn't do is put their foot on top there and pull that child out. He said the child wasn't coming and it was a rough thing. She was angry at everybody. At one point she passed out, they revived she, and he said it was rough. It was a different experience for him, and
especially if you go for a spin.
He wasn't fast for that, no.
I remember I was still living in Trinidad and my brother was up here and he called me when my niece was being born. He was outside smoking a split. I was like, what happened to you? He said, I had to watch a whole human come out of my glory hole. I can't watch that on a plane head. I had to get a little high first and go back inside of it.
Well, again, everybody is different. It is childbirth is a dangerous and beautiful thing at the same time. So it's just about perspective at that point. It's about perspective because it is the most, like, they hear they say in the last child is kill the mother. People just take for granted that pushing out a baby ain't easy. Anything can happen in that moment. That 9 months is the most crucial.
When Nikki one?
I don't know. And I'm messaging, I don't know.
No long Nikki right now.
Drop off, I don't know. Well, guys, all the extras that Kevin, so you cannot vex at me. You understand? Once again,
7 minutes, we appreciate it, my brother.
I want to thank everybody for coming in the space each and every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we learn something new in here. We kind of bring topics for everybody to know. To feel free to shed light for the people who send voice notes. We say much love to you guys as well. And there's no bunny, so we just take for granted that a lot of people was in here tonight and we had a good time. I see some people came back. So Lily, the floor is yours.
Good night, everybody. So the topic tonight was physical changes in relationship. But first of all, we had some difficulty getting started. We didn't start on time because apparently Jaiga couldn't get it up and running tonight. He apparently needed Nikki and Ro'dey to come first, and then Jaiga was able to slip in, and everybody was able to talk. Jaiga happened to mention also that Cohen Dubois needs to accept his hairline is in a reverse gear and has been in a reverse gear for quite some time. Ro'dey spoke about being jealous of a little fella like Moto and that he unfollowed Moto because Moto whined on too many women for Miami Carnival. Bunny say if Jaiga and Nikki could be outside and log on, he will supervise lighting up people's life and sharing current out there. He also said that he do an ad for spaces and he get no forward, so he. Nikki always know. We always know when Jerry is close to Nikki when she's talking because she's give us a little chuckle. Like tonight, she mentioned that she fell in love with a Rasta man, and then he went and cut his hair, and then she chuckled. There's always known Jerry passing, give Nikki a little chuck, and then she just chuckles and act like, "Of course, baby, it's alright." But Jerry cut off she Wi-Fi and she gone. Maria came in tonight to advocate for what she calls man with fluffy hair who just get good food and put on weight. Fluffy hair, unknown to us. But alright, if that's what Maria like, let her like what she like. Ro'dey say he prefers to tell a woman when she gets him big and sour. Because he's not sugarcoating anything when it's the same sugar that caused the woman to get big and sour in the first place, with the exception of Rihanna. Rihanna can never get big and sour. She could just get big, fat and fluffy, and he could be big. I guess Ro'dey is influenced by dollars. Neighbor says she makes the man big and fat. She admits here in his face that she made her big and fat and then turn it around on him. And he had nerve to tell the man when he put along the child. Them so is to run from. When she had her baby, she said that people in her family had something to say about keeping it together and putting it out there. But apparently, when they told neighbor to put on the girdle to get her belly down, she decided to flip it around and ended up with a big bang. But we will talk about that next. Jaiga say any man who shouldn't up in the first year of a relationship, he's thinking good. That they're fluffing up in the first year of a relationship, or you're thinking of it. Tongue in cheek. Tongue in cheek say basically, if I meet your best, maintain your bestness. He's also waiting to hear how lenient his ladies in the panel will be about people who looking licks down while they're aging. Didn't get forward, but alright. Paula. Woo! Tonight Paula came in and she quoted from the scriptures of Jay-Z. But she wasn't exactly sure about the chapter and the verse to give us exactly what Jay-Z said. Something along the lines of billionaires can't be ugly. Tongue wanted to specifically know from Paula what are her views on cosmetic surgery. So I think it is safe for us to say that after Spaces, we can expect that Tongue and Cheek is going to slip into Paula's DM, but we'll find out next week. Alicia said, enjoy growing together emotionally, spiritually, and horizontally. You take any as you come. Kevin had been quiet all night until Ro'dey said, don't interfere with the Pikachu. Kevin fine, Ro'dey needs to put no limitations on the Pikachu. It's stretch out, it doesn't stretch out, it's ugly, it's not ugly. It's nice now, it's put no limitations on the Pikachu and communicate that. But Kevin told us that he communicates with himself. And in communicating with himself, I don't know what he means. He said he communicates with himself, and that is when men go towards drinking roots. So apparently, drinking roots is something to do with masturbation, but it wasn't clear on that. Paula wants to know how men deal with women who don't want to have sex with them after childbirth. The answer, Paula, is simple, basically. They have sex with themselves. Jaiga said he jams for procreation purposes, and that in jamming for procreation purposes, and this is specifically from experience, you have to introduce a level of sexy tussiness, which we expect to see on Google sometime next week as an official term, sexy tussiness, when you're coming around the woman. By the way, where is Lester? Paula was making a point, and Jaiga say, hey, it's 9 o'clock. But after Jaiga say, hey, it's 9 o'clock, he allowed Kevin and Ace to speak for another 157 minutes, while Paula had to stay there and hush.
Wow. Wow.
We were
wow.
Really, boy. Wow.
Oh, boy. I just was trying to say, at the end of the day, there is a goal.
Yes, Lily.
There is a goal.
Yes. Standing ovation. Welcome in late, but I love it.
Awesome, Lily. Awesome.
You guys have a blessed one, blessed rest of the week. And remember, we'll be back here again next week, same time, same place.
Man, you're cutting me off again.
I will be using that word, sexy tussiness.
Sexy tussiness.
Me too.
It will be on Google.
I must tell.
We go on.
Good night, people.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
It's the third party, Jaiga, Nikki, Ro'dey.